and welcome to Framed
Canvas, cuffs, and
other stuffs. This podcast is about crime.
And art.
And our crime.
Wake up. Pay attention.
We've got art.
And it's juicy.
Hello, Joel.
Hey-o.
Hey-o. Daylight
Come and me one go home. Tell me banana.
I wonder if they will put that song in the new one.
Well, let me tell you.
Oh, okay.
Let me tell you. I'm jumping right into it. So last night, Lockie and I watched, boyfriend of the pod, Lockie and I watched Beetlejuice.
Yes.
In preparation. Like I've seen it many times, but not in the last, decade, 15 years, however long. Yeah, we decided to watch it because Beetlejuice or Beetlejuice or Beetlejuice 2 is about to come out. The juice is loose. Turn up the juice and see what shakes loose. And after watching the trailers and stuff, I've got like really high hopes for it because I was just like, a lot of these, remakes and whatever haven't been, I don't know, they add something to them that the new age technology just loses some of its charm. But I think Tim Burton's kind of gone back to his roots a little bit. He's doing stop motion, a lot of like built sets and things like that. It
looks like epic.
Epic
sets.
Not like his like Alice in Wonderland movies where like everything was just CG. So yeah, I've got really high hopes for it. So we sat down and watched it. I didn't realize how adult it is.
Yeah.
I completely, in my head, I'm like, this is like a kid's movie. Oh, it's a bit of a dark kid's movie, but it's for kids. Like they did a cartoon of it in the 90s that I used to watch.
Oh, did they?
Yeah.
Oh.
And he drops the F-bomb in it.
Oh, I didn't pick up on that.
Yeah. So
also he goes to the whorehouse essentially.
And he's a sexual predator.
Yeah.
He's really, really
He's trying to marry a
child. And he's a pedophile and probably bleep pedophile. I don't know if we can say that. Yeah, he's like really handsy with Gina Davis's character. He's like trying to look up her skirt. He's really like, he's got busy fingers. But there's a scene where he's in that little model town. Alec Baldwin's character makes the ghost man. He makes a model town of the town that they all live in. And little tiny Beetlejuice is in this model town. And he kicks over a tree and he's like, nice fucking model. And I was like,
clutching pearls.
I'm like, how did I not pick up on this when I was little? He's dropping F-bombs left, right, and center.
Yeah.
I was ready for him to start saying the C word. I was so shocked. I loved it, but I was like, and there are all these themes of S-word, unaliving. I don't know what you can say. There's one of the ghosts in the waiting room where they all have to wait to see what's going on. She's the dead beauty queen.
That's right.
And she like holds up her arms and she's got...
Yeah, and she's like, you get put, if you... I guess, commit suicide.
Yeah.
You get put as a admin assistant as opposed to being able to just wait.
So here's like little chubby child me with like sticky like Milo fingers, just like not everything's going.
Telling me banana. You're like, this is a fun show.
I know.
Your mum's like, what have I gotten myself into?
Well, I was allowed to watch pretty much anything growing up. Like I was my parents were around, but I was pretty non-supervised.
Yeah.
Like they both worked. My dad worked days, my mum worked nights, and vice versa.
Yeah.
My dad took me to see like the South Park movie at the cinemas when I was really, really young.
Which would have been very like adult humor.
Yeah. Well, he took me to see Scary Movie as well.
Yeah. We were watching some wild stuff as kids, weren't we?
Yeah. And those kinds of things would not fly now. But yeah, I was just so shocked how mature the content was.
Yeah.
Beetlejuice.
Yeah.
Loved it.
It's so good. I love it.
I was like, holy smokes, he's saying fuckity fuck, fuck, fuck.
That's so good. Oh, I can't wait to see what the new one is.
Yeah. And just Catherine O'Hara.
I know.
You gotta love her.
But so this is something SJ told me. Girlfriend of the pod. She
fiance of
the pod. She was telling me because she listened to Gina Davis' book. So she was listening to the book, and of all the films, Gina Davis was like, I really want to be part of the second Beetlejuice. I want to be like.
I wonder if she'll be in it.
No, but so far, all accounts that.
Well,
she
that might be
isn't.
a surprise.
I hope so because that's like the one film she's like, I want to help it get up and running. It was one of my favorite movies to be on. I loved it. So.
Well, you know what happened to Alec Baldwin recently?
Yeah. So.
With Bang Bang.
Bang Bang.
So maybe that kind of got them written out of the script, maybe,
like,
or they might be. Well, he might not be in it.
He might not be in it,
but she might be.
I hope she's a surprise guest.
Same, even if she's playing like a different character and like prosthetics and stuff.
Especially because she loved it so much and she wants to be a part of it so much. I just feel like,
but just also like Beetlejuice, like I know I'm going on about Beetlejuice a lot, but the way that his movies, like the lighting in them and the detailed sets and everything not looking that perfect and very kind of makeshift and stuff was just so much love and care was put into these films and creativity.
Yeah, and like for the 80s, that special effects and stuff was like, if you had seen that because it came out end of the 80s, right? 85,
maybe
87
I
or
thought
something.
it was 90s, but actually you're probably right. It's 80s because Winona Ryder's a little girl in it.
Yeah. Could you imagine seeing that at the theater? Like you would have been like, oh my gosh, look at this special effects. Like this is blowing my mind.
Yeah.
Now we're like, oh.
And the claymation like sandworms and stuff. Like it was just.
What a ride.
And the hair and the costumes and Mrs. Dietz, Catherine O'Hara's character, the art that she makes.
I know.
Is so bizarre.
Yeah.
But nothing like it. But yeah, very, very a lot of adult content in Beetlejuice. I was loving it. My recommendation would be watch Beetlejuice.
And go
it
see
is
the new
arty.
One. Yeah. And
one of the characters is an artist.
I mean, also
struggling artist.
The film itself is it is amazing.
Honestly, my MySpace name used to be Joel Skellington.
Yeah.
Back in the emo days. I actually found some. I went to my auntie's yesterday for lunch, and the photos that she has of me around the house are from that era. Eyebrow piercing, full emo hair, black shirts.
You would have straightened your fringe, maybe?
Oh, I definitely did. Joel Skellington lives on at my auntie's house.
Oh, it's nice that Joel Skellington can come out and visit every once in a while.
Yes. What about you?
I'm going to recommend, we went and saw Six, the musical.
Oh my God, yeah.
It was so good. So obviously it's about King Henry VIII's 6 wives. And I don't know if you went and saw And Juliet when it was here.
I didn't, and I wish I did, but I didn't.
I would go and see 6 because it's similar vibes but short. So no intermission. You're in and out in about an hour and a half, which I love. And it was just fun pop. Like it's all original music, but it is so fun. And I highly recommend it.
Who was in it? Rob Mills and
Thank
Natalie
God,
Bassingfletcher? Did Rhonda Birchmore pop up?
Hello.
They're in everything.
They're in bloody everything. If you're not a musical person, this could be a musical for you.
And they're like, they do it in a pop song.
Yeah.
I know Lockie's played we've been on car rides to Adelaide and he's played the soundtrack to it.
It's set as like a pop show.
Yeah,
So it's like the 6 wives are putting on a pop show for you.
Yeah, right.
The only thing is SJ hates when at the end they make you get up and be like, she's like, if I want to stand up, I will choose to do so. Don't tell me to. So she gets up and she's just like.
That's what they did at the Back to the Future musical. Yeah, you get into it.
Or like get me up like right at the end. I don't need to do this for 5 minutes though. Like, you know, when you're like, okay, get me up in the last
Everyone's
2
just
minutes.
kind of like awkwardly dancing and like you're looking around to see if anyone's sat down yet. No one has. You're like, all right.
Yeah.
Keep going. Believe in your dreams and you can find each other.
So yeah, highly recommend 6. Go see it.
How is it? Is it limited run or because it's been here before, hasn't it?
Yeah, it has. So it's doing Melbourne, then it's doing Sydney again. It's doing the rounds again in Australia, and I believe
Sorry
it's
to
on
our 2 listeners in Russia.
Sorry, Russia. I don't know if you're getting it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I think it's doing the rounds, but it's been on like I think it might still be or coming back to Broadway. Like it's all over the shop.
Yeah. Oh, Beetlejuice musical is coming next year.
Oh, I saw it in New York when we went.
Yeah,
and
was it good?
One of the best fucking musicals I've ever seen.
Oh, I can't wait.
And it was better than the movie, in my opinion.
Ooh, you heard it here first.
You heard it here first. That's my review. I cannot wait. I'll probably see that multiple times when it comes. And the score was written by Eddie Perfect, an Australian.
Oh no, yeah.
And it's really good. It's really fun. It's really clever. And the set and it like they don't just
lots of stripes and swirls and green lights.
And they really put money into it.
Yeah, good.
And you can tell.
Yeah.
And so
it's going to be a spectacle.
It really will be.
It is.
Also, have you seen Gaga's new song?
Oh, with Bruno
Mars.
I've heard snippets.
Yeah.
It sounds to me like what's that one she did for the soldiers? No, Top Gun.
What's the one she did for the vets?
The Top Gun one. Like, hold my hand. It's not my kind of song, I don't think, but props to her.
I love the look though. If she does a whole album in this look, because she did like the hair.
Yeah.
The wig.
The beehive.
The beehive, which is all, and the makeup and the dress. But she's also done like this shoot. I don't know if it's because I've not seen the whole thing.
Yeah.
But she's wearing this like cool suit.
Like blue and red.
The blue and red is the dress, and then she's got this like tartan suit, and I was like, ooh.
Is this to do with Joker Filet do?
Filet do.
Filet do.
Should we be excited for Filet do?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
I did love the first Joker. Look, she'll be great.
Oh, she's excellent at whatever she does.
Yeah, well, House of Gucci.
I mean, it was fun. It was cute.
Anyway. I can't rag on Lady Gaga on this podcast. I do really like her. I love her music. I love it when it's dancey, it's fun, it's poppy, la la la.
You got good taste.
Yes.
You got good taste.
I just like to dance.
I just want to dance and be a little sad. Not too sad.
Yeah.
Just a little sad. Shall we jump into it?
Yes.
Alrighty. So, Joel, we've talked about a particular artist before, so we're not going to dive into his world too much, but we are going to touch and talk about
Hold on. Let me think.
First episode, we talked about him.
Oh, smokes. That was the Mona Lisa. Leonardo da Vinci.
We are going to talk about Leonardo da Vinci again.
Hey.
So this one is a bit different. So we talked about obviously Miss Lisa and the heist in the first episode. Go back and listen to it if you haven't. This one is going to be centered around one of the most controversial pieces of art that has appeared recently. So it's a painting that appeared and people are speculating whether it is worth just as much as the Mona Lisa.
How recently?
It came up probably around 2016, but 2019 is when it really popped off.
Ooh.
You might not know its name, but don't worry, I'm going to speak a lot about it. So
me acting like I know what it's going to be.
like,
I have no idea whatsoever.
Beetlejuice?
Yeah.
There's a portrait of Beetlejuice, right? We know that Da Vinci only painted 22 pieces in his lifetime.
Yes.
But imagine if you got your hands on a 23rd piece. So this episode,
the lost painting.
The lost painting. So in this episode, we're going to talk about the missing Da Vinci and the lengths people will go to uncover a masterpiece.
Ooh. Good.
And we're also going to talk a little bit about provenance, which we have spoken about a little bit before as well, and how you prove provenance from a painting that is so old, and is it possible?
Yes.
The painting we are going to talk about is called the Salvator Mundi, and it is one of the most expensive pieces of art in the entire world. It's 2005 and two men are browsing around auction houses. It's nothing too flashy. They're just hoping to spot something that's unique. And some art dealers, what they do is they look around at smaller auction houses to find pieces of work that they think are worth more. So they go, all right, this has been mislabeled. We're going to buy it and then like restore it and relabel it to be what the actual art is.
Yeah.
And
it's like flipping a house.
They're art flippers.
Yeah.
They stumble upon a painting listed for $1,100.
Okay.
Nothing remarkable.
Yeah,
It's fine.
Do that.
You can.
Spent more on my couch.
There you go. See, you could buy this.
Yeah.
So it's nothing unique, and then they kind of purchase it because they think maybe it could be worth at least a little bit more. So they get it shipped to New York City.
New York City.
And when it arrives, it's packed in a basic cardboard box. So, like, no one's treating it really with anything special because it's a $1,000 piece of art. It's fine. But this is where things start to get interesting. When they start to peel back the layers of the cardboard and take it out, they start to notice something odd. The painting has been heavily restored in some places, but there are certain parts of the painting that have been untouched. And what lies there is what could be something out of the 1500s.
What lies beneath?
What lies beneath? Could this be something that's just unassumingly priceless? Maybe. Let me show you a picture of it before we jump in.
Oh, I'm excited. I've got chills. Oh, I love that. This is the one that they saw that they got for
1,100.
I love it though. Not much definition like underneath the chin. That is 100% the type of painting that I like. Is it meant to be Jesus?
It is meant to be Jesus. So,
but he's holding like a crystal ball, so I'm like, maybe it's a wizard.
I mean, one and the same.
Well,
let's not get
wouldn't
out.
you say that he was like a wizard?
Bit of a wizard. So now that they've found this painting, it's time to try and put the jigsaw together and see if they can prove provenance, when it's from, who is it painted by, that kind of thing. So the two art dealers take this painting to one of the best art conservers, in the world. Her name is Planetariums.
Planetarium.
Her name is Diane Modestini, and she is one of the best in the biz. So she takes the painting out of a garbage bag, puts it on an easel, and she notes that some of the painting, obviously it's a bit rough where they've repainted over it, but the original parts are really beautiful. So she then takes it into the bed of her, like, this sounds so strange. Her partner, who is currently, I think he's about 98 years old at this time.
Okay.
His name is Mario Modestini. He lays in bed. He's kind of on his final days.
Yeah, okay.
So she takes it into him because he was the best in the biz as far as restoring paintings, finding paintings, proven provenance.
Yeah.
He was the guy.
This is happening in my head like a movie right now.
Oh, I
So
like it.
big grandiose room in his bed, and he's like, come closer.
He looks at it, and he's also, to note, he has also previously vetted a work called the Geneva da Vinci for the National Gallery, which was another Da Vinci. So he has worked with Da Vinci's before.
Okay.
And he says, this is by a very great artist. I don't know who it is, but it is the generation after Leonardo.
So he can just tell by, that's how good he is. He
Yeah,
can just tell by looking.
he specializes in this time period, I think. So he can kind of see what's there that we would not. We'd just be like, I guess.
Yeah,
but
right.
he's been studying it for so long and knows so much about it and has worked so closely with, Da Vinci's work that he can kind of pick it up.
Like just from brush strokes and stuff like that, he can be like, this is from the generation after Da Vinci.
Mm-hmm.
Genius.
What a genius. Diane starts to work on the painting and starts to try and restore it herself. And so she starts to remove the varnish of the painting, and she realizes, like, the fingers on the painting, which you noted, the thumb, she removed some of the varnish and she realizes the thumb had been corrected. So it's been moved from one space to another.
Okay.
So if this had been a copy, there wouldn't need to be that correction. So already she's starting to think, all right, this was
definitely the original piece that they've gone over the top of.
Yeah. And so obviously the artist has gone, I don't like how that thumb's positioned. I'm going to reposition it. If you were doing a copy, you would just know that the thumb's already there.
Yeah.
So she's starting to go, all right, there's something here. Let's kind of delve a little deeper. She continues her work on the painting, removing the varnish, starting to slowly repaint this painting. She's not entirely sure what she's dealing with or what she's really supposed to be looking for. Just a little spidey senses are tingling. During this time, in the middle of this project, her partner Mario passes away. So she's kind of in grief as well while she's restoring this painting. But despite her grief, she pushes forward, carefully cleaning and restoring the piece. At this point, the dealers decide to go all in and say, yep, all right, let's restore this to its full potential. Because what they did, they took it to her and said, is it worth it? And she starts to do it. And they're like, okay, yep, go fully into this.
You mean restore it by going back to its original?
Yeah. So I guess when you're restoring a piece of art, it depends. So let's say 50% of this painting had been previously restored, 50% hadn't. So the part that had been, and it's quite damaged, the original, that was the one that which I just showed you is the restored version. When it first came, like there's cracks, the paint's peeling, like so she
quite delicate.
Yeah. So she keeps the original parts, but she goes back in to restore the parts that had been restored.
That had been touched.
Yeah. So she takes away all this kind of dodgy work, I guess, and starts to restore it to be a bit more like what the original would have been, which happens a lot. A lot of the artwork we see would have this happen to it.
Yeah.
She starts restoration on working on the lips. So this is like months and months of work. Like she's not just going in and going, bam, bam, bam.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, I'm going to peel back the paint and then I'm going to individually, almost like pixels, go in and start to restore this work.
Oh, wow.
It is, if I had a science background, this is the one area I'd want to go in. I love conservation and watching them work on it.
Yeah, it'd be so fascinating.
Oh, it is, and it's beautiful to watch.
Yeah.
Because they're just...
It reminds me of, in Toy Story 2, how Woody gets restored by the toy maker.
Yes.
And it's that really uncomfortable scene where he... the old toy maker with his shaky hands has the little Q-tip and he's rubbing on he's rubbing on Woody's eye and you're just like, oh, your eyes water while you're watching it.
Yeah, that's exactly what this is. So she's
and then he painted over Andy.
Oh. They're doing another one. They've just announced they're doing another one.
Toy Story Folie à Deux.
Folie à Deux. It's just the Joker.
Yeah.
So anyway, she's working on the lip. And as she carefully shades and repaints, something starts to click. The way the lip transitions is a subtle shading technique. It feels eerily similar to something she's seen before.
A Kylie lip kit.
A Kylie lip kit. She goes, call Kylie. I've got it right here. So then it hits her. This is exactly how the Mona Lisa's lips were painted.
Ooh.
Could you imagine?
Yeah.
Her heart skips a beat. Could this really be the work of Leonardo da Vinci? So what I guess she noted was that the way that da Vinci paints the lip, there's no line, there's no clear definition, it's all shading.
Yeah.
So she would have been working on it and so she got books out and she was like, oh, I think this might be it.
Like shading in like the corners of the mouth. And I can see it in my head.
Yeah, so it's all very subtle, not like an outline.
Not Amanda Lepore.
No, definitely not. What would you do in this situation, Joel? Would you be like, alert the media?
Well, if it was me, I wouldn't realise. I'd just be like, la, la, la. But if I did have that background and I did notice that similarity, I'd have to alert someone.
Alert someone. Do you think
a gallery?
Yeah. Would you stop working on the painting?
Probably.
Do you think?
Yeah. I wouldn't touch it anymore. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you'd have to get a second opinion. What that profession and who I would call, I do not know.
Yeah, because especially if you're already one of the top.
Historian.
Yeah, and if you're already one of the top in the biz, like who do you call?
Yeah, who do you call?
What do? We've got to find out provenance because if it is a Da Vinci, there's got to be something else that ties it to it, not just us being like, looks like it could be.
Yeah.
As Diane continues to work on this piece, the dealers go out to prove the provenance of this painting. So the first time this painting kind of seems to turn up is in the 1900s when it sells at an auction house in London, like late in its lifespan, I guess. But then there is mention of it in the 1700s. So it's mentioned in one of like the King Charles's logs where
this painting.
So they believe that this painting that's called the Salvator Mundi is mentioned. So let's say they go, all right, this Da Vinci piece is listed as a Salvator Mundi, but we haven't found it yet. Where is it? And then they go, all right, this could be that painting that's mentioned.
Did they describe what it looked like and stuff like that?
No, I don't think so. I think it's more
right.
so a name, and it's kind of like what would be the image,
Yeah.
but not directly. So there might be copies of it in the world of his workshop might have created copies, but it could be that, so they go, cool, this is kind of what it looks like. We already have a bit of a reference, but we haven't found the actual piece itself.
Yeah.
It's kind
so
of
they're not like, this painting looks like Jesus / wizard. He's holding
an
a crystal
orb.
ball. He's crossing his fingers.
Yeah.
If anyone sees it, let us know.
Let us know.
Yeah.
Hit us up. No, it's a bit more ambiguous, which is an issue in itself.
Yeah.
The thing about this, though, is that every painting that kind of was purchased by the royals, it gets a royal stamp put on the back. This didn't have that, but it was because the painting had been kind of stripped on the back. So it could have been removed at some point.
Yeah, all right.
We just don't know. Diane finishes her restoration and the dealers go, cool, we're going to try and get a bit more of a authentication done. In 2008, Luke Sison, the director at the National Gallery, receives images of the Salvator Mundi from the dealers. Now, he gets a lot of things like this and he's always like, you don't really know. You can kind of pick and tell which ones you want to dive into.
Yeah, yeah.
He said when he saw the images of this that it was striking and it piqued his interest enough that he invited scholars who are at the top of their field in. At this point, no Da Vinci had been found in the last 100 years.
Yeah.
So this would be
the find of all finds.
The find of the find. And, if you're a scholar, you're kind of trying to keep your excitement at bay because you're like, well, if it is, this is fantastic. But something that I briefly mentioned before is there are workshops that were around Da Vinci. So he was actually part of another master's workshop as well. So there are paintings that are done by his teacher, I guess you'd call it.
Yeah.
That he has contributed
that
to.
He's emulated.
Yeah. So essentially what would happen is just say a master's painting a work and then you go in and finish some fish scales on it because the master's like, I can't be doing this. It's just, but it still gets so they would have been trying to learn off him. So they would have been copying his work.
Yeah.
And they would have been helping him finish work.
Yeah. So it could have been like a student's piece, kind of emulating Da Vinci's style to help them along the way as well.
100%. So there is this kind of thing, the master, was it painted by the master or was it painted by the student? If they're creating copies of this work, and there are other versions of the Salvator Mundi, we just haven't found. If it's painted by someone from the outer circle who might not have been a direct student in his workshop, but might have been someone around at the time who was kind of learning but not quite in his inner circle, it would have been worth $1,100 what they paid for it. If it was done by one of the students who was working under Da Vinci, it would be worth about $100,000.
Yeah, I was going to say it'd have to be worth a lot more.
Yes.
Like these people were in direct contact with
100%.
Da Vinci.
So it starts to increase.
Yeah.
If it was a real Da Vinci, it's priceless.
Yeah.
So it could have been painted at the time, could have been painted in his workshop. He might never have touched it. So that's something to keep in the back of your mind. A group of elite scholars travel to the gallery in London and they examine the Salvator Mundi. They get taken into this room and they get to look at it. The tension is high because everyone wants to see what's going on. This could be something special. They've all said it's quite a striking piece. There's something very, I guess when you see the Mona Lisa, there's something about
it. There's something that resonates in this, that same feeling. I must say I got fizzy knickers when I saw it.
Felt a little tingle down there, did you, Jill?
I did.
There is one scholar, Maria, who spent years working in Milano. She takes a closer look at the untouched part of the painting and says, it could be, but it's been so heavily restored, the other half, that it's hard to tell. Yeah. If the whole painting hadn't been restored or if it was in its original state, it would be a lot easier. But at this point, it's hard to tell.
God, you'd almost hope that maybe one of Da Vinci's eyelashes fell into the paint.
DNA.
And then you could DNA it. And then you could fuse the DNA and then take it to an island and make Da Vinci Park. And then just clone Da Vinci.
Jeez, and there's just all these little Da Vincis walking around. Da Vinci. There's no dramatic moment in this meeting that everyone goes and takes a vote and goes, yes, this is it. No, it's not.
Too hard to say.
Too hard to say. Days. And also we're in a room for 1 hour looking at a painting. There's
Yeah.
only so much we can have a conversation about. So no one's really saying, yep, but there is a kind of this buzz around like, ooh, could it be? But we need to do
It's
more.
not a definite no.
Yeah, exactly. And
It could be beef.
it could be. Maria also insists as well that no one since that day has ever directly asked her if it's real or not. So she's just kind of like, no one's ever asked me, so I'm not going to put my 2 cents in. But despite this uncertainty, the National Gallery goes all in and pretty much declares, yep, it's it. After this one meeting on this one day.
I don't know, National Gallery.
National Gallery. So what they were planning to do was to show this painting in the gallery, and essentially what it would have said was attributed to Leonardo da Vinci.
Yeah.
So when they
Just big question marks all around it.
like maybe.
Yeah.
Woo! But what they actually do is they put it up, and on the placard it says Leonardo da Vinci.
Well,
So they are heavily they're not even implying, they are saying we believe this is a Da Vinci. What testing?
you got to know that it's a Da
You've
Vinci.
got to
first.
know. There is something to be said around the gallery is going to make a huge amount of money with the uptick in sales.
That is why they did this.
Yeah. So especially if you're the first one to show it.
Yeah.
What a notch on your belt. This is where we start to get a little bit more into a crime being committed, because is there a bit of a conspiracy on our hands? Authenticating a painting usually takes about 10 to 40 years from this era.
Love to get into that field. It sounds like a blast.
So not one day in a room with a few scholars saying, maybe.
Yeah.
There's a lot more that has to go into it, a lot more testing, a lot more provenance needs to be kind of given.
Mm-hmm.
But money is starting to get made off this painting by saying it is a Da Vinci. So it means
Of course.
it means that these people are conspiring to say it's a Da Vinci and they know it's not. That's fraud. We're fooling the public. So
But is it fraud if you don't know that it's not?
technically,
Like,
I
and it
don't
could
think
be?
so. Yeah, I think if you were like, it could be,
Yeah.
then, but if you knew it wasn't and then you say it is and then you make money off that, that's the problem.
I almost think it'd be more curious and it would draw more people to the painting, them advertising it as, could this be a Da Vinci?
Yeah.
Because then people would go and look at it and speculate and talk about it, and people would say, yes, it is. People would say, no, it isn't. It creates like buzz.
Yeah.
I feel like that, I mean, what do I know? But I that it's that dress that's like, is it gold and white or is it black and blue?
It's black and blue, guys.
Yeah. Gold and white, actually.
Well, the pod's over. We'll never get over this.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's
no,
like-
it would create buzz, but I guess it is.
But not in dollar
not-
amounts.
and
You're going to get the dollar
You're
amounts
going to get
when
the
you
dollar
say
amounts.
that it's
a Da Vinci.
actual Da Vinci.
And also you're going to get more, I think you're going to get more people being like, oh my gosh, this is Da Vinci we've not found before. Like this is art, history, world news. You know, it's history making, really. One scholar said that the original parts of the painting looked like it had been done by students, but the restoration looks like Da Vinci. But we know that the restoration was painted by Diane. 90% of it had been painted in the last 10 years. She's restoring the painting to the best of her abilities, but is she taking some liberties because she's wanting this to be a Da Vinci?
Yeah.
So she's painting it like
a
Da Vinci as opposed to what the student would have painted it like.
Oh, Diane.
Diane, what are you doing, girl? Now that it's somewhat authenticated and the National Gallery has stamped it as such, it's time to make some cash. And the price tag that the dealers and the owners of this found painting put on it is a cool $200 million.
Holy schmagoli.
So it's gone from $1,100 to $200 million. That's in the space of a few years.
That was the highest Powerball Australia's ever had. 200 mil.
And we didn't win it.
Didn't win.
Or did we?
I just never tell anyone.
That there will be signs.
I come in with the Mundi.
You're like,
Look what I bought.
First, the painting was kind of, they wanted to sell it to a gallery. The dealer who's trying to broker this deal wanted to sell it to galleries, but no one wanted to buy it. Which says something it's very telling that this dealer has gone, I've got a Da Vinci, and not a single gallery says, we'll buy that off you. $200 million is kind of a steal.
Yeah.
Well, for
that.
For a masterpiece
Yes.
by a master who everyone knows.
Yeah.
The dealers say it was due to the galleries having a lack of funds, but is it really just because no one wanted to own a fake? They knew that.
I think that would be the reason.
Yeah. So one gallery owner said in his opinion, the painting was not a Da Vinci, and why would we spend $200 million on this? Didn't
the National Gallery already buy it?
They haven't purchased it. They had it on loan.
Oh, okay. They had it on loan.
It's still owned by the dealers who bought it for $1,100.
And even though that gallery said it was a Da Vinci, the people in the inner circle and the people who did the restorations and all that know that it's not.
They don't.
They don't know.
They don't know.
They don't know.
Everyone is wanting it to be, I think. Whether it is or not is the question.
But then the galleries that they're trying to sell it to for 200 mil, are they being sold it as a Da Vinci or a...
Yeah, it would only have the 200 mil price tag if the dealers were saying this is a real Da Vinci.
Yeah,
and all of the galleries are saying we don't believe it is. We won't be purchasing.
Yeah, okay. So they don't believe that it's a...
Nah, the galleries that
even though they're being told that it is.
Yeah, correct. Yeah. And so what happens then is that it ends up being sold privately to an eccentric man named Yves Bouvier.
Ooh.
So he's a businessman, and this is kind of where things get a little bit fun and spicy. So Ives is known for his shady dealings.
Okay.
I'm going to say allegedly shady dealings, and has this long-standing arrangement with a Russian billionaire named Dmitry.
Okay.
So Ives has bought artwork for Dmitry before, and Dmitry contacts Ives and says, I want the Salvator Mundi. I hear it's for sale. I want it part of my collection. I want to own a Da Vinci.
Yeah.
What happens is Ives goes,
little Veruca Salt over here.
I want
it.
Daddy, I want a pony. So Dmitry goes, he actually originally Ives tells Dmitry, don't go after this painting. I don't think it's real. Do you really want to spend that amount of money on it? And Dmitry says, yes, I will spend up to $120 million on this painting. Okay. So Ives is smart. He knows that this painting has been shopped around a little bit. Mm-hmm. And so he knows that the dealers want to just make the sale at this point because none of the galleries want to buy it.
Yeah. So he can lowball them a little bit.
Yeah. So he starts to broker a deal, and he goes back to the original dealers to buy the painting for $83 million.
Oh, even lower than what Dmitry was
lower.
saying. Just to see if we can save Dmitry some coin.
Yeah. So it's gone from $200 million. Now he's going to buy it for $83 million.
Big jump.
But they just want to, I think at this point they just wanted to sell it.
Yeah.
And going from $1,000 to $83 million, that's a pretty good day at the office. So Ives then buys the painting for $83 million, but sells it to Dmitry for a different price.
Oh, Ives, you cheeky bugger.
Cheeky little bugger. He starts this email trail with Dmitry and is like, yeah, I'm going to get the painting for you. They want $150. And he's like, and they're like, no, I'm only going to spend $110. And he goes, oh, someone's interested in it. What about $150 or $120 or $130? And he's like, oh,
he's
no.
bartering for the amount that he can snap.
Yeah, there was never anyone else on the other end of
no
of that phone.
Yeah.
So he eventually sells it to Dmitry for $127.5 million.
Bit of money in Ives's kitty.
Little kitty. He makes $47.5 million off this sale.
Oh my God.
And in about 2 days.
Yeah.
Just being a little cheeky.
Yeah. Cheeky bugger.
He's quoted as saying, it's just business. It's just commerce. This is what you do. But it is cheeky. Over the span of Ives buying work for Dmitry, he's made about $1 billion in buying art, upping the price to Dmitry.
Oh, he's been doing this before.
Oh, yeah, he's been doing this before.
And Dmitry's just
he's just buying
unawares.
So he's pretty much made at least 50% profit on each painting he's bought for Dmitry, which is wild. Let's recap. In a couple of years, this painting has jumped from $1,100 to $83 million. And then within 2 days, $127.5 million.
Yes.
So the price is inflated. But then what happens in 2014, an article comes out that exposes the deception of Ives to Dimitri.
I wonder who leaked
that. But someone's done a little digging and has worked out that Ives has been ripping off Dimitri. Now, what I failed to mention is Dimitri is a Russian oligarch, which is –
what does that mean?
One of the – so the oligarchs essentially own us.
Okay.
They are the most powerful people because they have so much fucking money.
Okay.
Like in Russia, allegedly, if you're at the top of the food chain – you've done some shady dealings. You're probably not a very nice person.
Yes.
You don't want to fuck with them.
Yeah.
Oligarchs will also, they rigged the,
Russian listeners, cover your ears.
Cover your ears. Sorry, Russia. Or get out. Good luck to you.
We love you.
We love you. Good. I hope you're okay. So allegedly, the oligarchs got Trump into power. So they're that kind of dealing.
Okay.
They've got money, they've got power, they've got influence. When Dimitri finds out about this, he loses it. And you don't want to be Ives.
Scary.
Dimitri says, I have made you a lot of money in this time. You will sell all of my artwork for the price that I paid in less than a month.
Or else.
And Ives is like, that is impossible because mind you, so every other piece that he's bought is a real piece, but the price has been marked up so high that no one's going to pay that price.
No one's going to buy them for that price.
So Ives refuses, and essentially what Dimitri does is just fucking obliterates him and just takes him to court, sues him. Essentially, he just runs Ives out of town.
Yeah.
And Ives, who was once now a billionaire and made $1 billion off this now has no fucking money. Yeah. Then Dimitri goes, all right, I'm going to liquidate all this art asset. And I'm going to sell it all off and I'm going to sell it through Christine's, the auction house. What the oligarchs do is what he was doing was he was putting all of his money into art so when he needed to, he could pick up and leave if he had to, if things got dicey.
Yeah.
So he's investing money in art over a period of time so he can cash out when he needs to and get the hell out of Dodge.
And as years and years go on, art only appreciates in value. So it's an investment.
It's an investment. It's investment. All of his other art was legit except for the Mundi. He had about $1 billion worth of art. So wanted to keep him happy because they were going to make a pretty profit off this man. To keep their client happy, sets up a marketing campaign specifically around the Mundi because they know they can sell everything else, but the Mundi is going to be the hard sell.
Yeah. So how do we jazz this up a little bit?
How do we make this look like fun and snazzy?
Yeah.
They start to
Afterpay sale.
4 easy payments of
Cyber Monday. Cyber Mundi.
Cyber Mundi. I want that to be the campaign, Cyber Mundi. They do a Cyber Mundi campaign and they start to sell the story of the painting and they start to leak it to the press. You know, this is the male Mona Lisa.
Sorry, I'm still laughing. My own joke.
Cyber Mundi.
Cyber Mundi.
What happens is they set up this marketing video and it doesn't even show the painting itself.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. It's just the dumbest thing that's ever left my mouth and I just can't stop thinking about it.
Really, that's the dumbest thing?
Yeah. All right. Please continue. We've got the church giggles.
All right. So I'm going to show you the video, Joel, because we'll show you the kind of importance that they put on this painting.
Dramatic.
Yeah.
People are looking angry at it, but that might just be their concentration face.
Like, emote. How do you emote?
Not the person in the back with a tear going down their face.
A singular tear. I feel like if it was out now, it would be, "Heart used to float."
Another tear? These people are weeping.
This is all for one.
Oh, I love the lady with the hat. Lots of crying. Are we going to have this playing up here?
Yeah.
Yeah, we should. Half a piece has ever made me cry before.
Yeah, I don't know if I've ever been emotional.
I've been in awe. I've been emotional, but I don't think I've ever like wept in front of a piece.
I think as well because it's a Da Vinci and Jesus.
Yeah, the Jesus of it all.
Yeah.
Oh, that's Leonardo DiCaprio.
Yeah.
Oh, they don't show it.
They don't.
Ooh. The Last Da Vinci. Oh, okay. I got chills. I got full body chills.
Interestingly, they don't even show the painting.
No, but that's so clever.
Like if you're not even showing, well, it's smart. It's just smart marketing because it's creating an emotional connection to this whole thing.
Get DiCaprio to look at Da Vinci.
Da Vinci, yeah. Essentially trying to convey to the potential buyer the emotional feeling and reaction that you and other people will have.
That's why I feel like that was probably genuine. Like a lot of them didn't seem like
actors.
A lot of them seemed like actors. A lot
except
of them
for that
didn't.
single tear.
Well, but then after that, people were like weeping. And
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, okay. And it's a lot of it would be because of the Jesus of it all, because of
the significance of it.
of it all.
People get emotional, especially if you were put into a heightened state, dark room, you got told the story, you got taken in, you probably would feel a bit like, oh my God.
Maybe I would have a little tear.
Yeah. Well, they get articles written about it. They're generating hype. They know this is going to be the one to sell. The auction house doesn't need to authenticate this painting. They just need to fucking make money off it. So that's their whole ploy. They don't need to go and say like, this is provenance. Here's everything we know about it. They don't necessarily have to show that.
Yeah.
They then take the painting on a little tour of the world and they show it in different cities where they think potential buyers will be. You know, lines were out the door. People are wanting to see this Leonardo.
They're calling it the Last Da Vinci without
knowing. So it makes it a trophy.
Yeah.
You own this.
Yeah.
You are buying yourself a piece of art history. You're showing off essentially.
Yes. Yeah.
2017, New York City is a buzz. The phones are ringing. People are shuffling into the auction house. This painting is set to bring in $180 million at least.
Wowzers.
It makes it one of the most expensive pieces ever sold. Can you guess how much it sells for, Joel?
Going to say it was over 200 mil because there'd be pieces that would be worth more than that. 750 million.
Whoa, that's a lot of money.
I don't know.
Well, think about it this way. It's only ever been sold for up to 127 million. They're asking for 180. So it's probably going to sell for about 200.
Yeah, that's what I said.
The original price as opposed to 750.
Well, I don't know. You've got DiCaprio in the ads and stuff.
You would have paid 750 mil for it.
I know.
Watch the start and then fast forward towards the end because this is the actual. So you can kind of see where it starts and where it finishes. He does do a lot of this. Auctioneer does fuss about a bit. So
okay.
You'll start to see.
Oh, would be amazing to be in this room. And these people are people bidding on behalf of people. That's why they're like on the phone.
It's never.
Yeah, it's
you're
never
in
the person.
the room.
No. You don't want people knowing that you've got.
Yeah, that you've got that kind of cash.
And so, ladies and gentlemen, we move to the Leonardo da Vinci, the Salvator Mundi, at 90 million. 95, and I go 110 over here. 140 million is bid. At 140 million, at 190 million, give me 200. 190 is bid. 200 million is bid. At 200 million. At 200 million. At $280 million. Are we all done? Maybe not. Will you give me 290, Alex? 300. I thought so. 300 million. For those of you following online, you may not have heard it. The bid was 350 was called on the telephone. At 350 million for Leonardo Salvator Mundi. At 350 million. 370 million. Back to Francois' client. At $370 million, ladies and gentlemen. 400 million. At Christie's, $400 million is the bid, and the piece is sold.
400. Oh my God, $400 million.
Mm-hmm. There is
700 wasn't that far off.
no. There is like this brilliant clip of Fran Lebowitz who talks about like auction houses and art. What people do is they bring out the Picasso, everyone's dead silent, they auction off the Picasso, it sells, everyone claps for the price and not the Picasso. And I went, oh yeah.
That's very true. They do.
No one clapped when it came out, but everyone was clapping once someone paid $400 million for
Isn't that interesting?
I think by the end it ends up being about 450 mil, taxes and things.
Wow.
And I don't think we'll ever see a piece sell like this again ever in our lifetime.
About the price of a couple of Taylor Swift tickets.
Ho, ho, ho. Did you see Florence came out?
When?
On the Eras tour.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she's in a song off the new album. And so it starts with
Couldn't
Taylor.
tell you a single song off the new
Oh, no. But this one is very a Florence song.
Yeah, okay.
And Taylor, but it's just Taylor started singing it and I said, and I knew when the song came out, I was like,
yeah, Florence is going to skip out on stage.
Yeah, and then it starts halfway through and you just hear this, oh, she just rises.
Floating in one of her ghost dresses.
100%. And I was like, I would have bawled my eyes out.
Oh, yeah. Look, there's our girl.
There she is. I don't know if I can ever meet her. It's too. I think I want to, but I would fall on the floor.
If the exchange wasn't exactly how you pictured it in your head, you'd be
which would be like, I just want you to float past, and I'd be like, weeping. I would be the people in the like the film, being like, singular tear, dog days. Who the hell buys this fucking painting for $450 million?
Do we find out?
Well, at the end of 2017, so no one knows. The auction house says, we're not going to tell you, dummies. But at the end of 2017, an article by the New York Times comes out that speculates that the buyer of the piece of art was Saudi prince. His name is Prince Mohammed bin Salman. Mm. And he has recently become the effective ruler of Saudi Arabia.
Okay.
He's apparently gone on a bit of a shopping spree since being made the ruler. He has recently purchased a super yacht for $450 million, a French chateau for $300 million, and now the Salvator Mundi, burning through cash.
Yes.
But let's be real, they've got so much money within that family.
Yeah, absolutely.
Interestingly, at the time, just a bit of politics. Interesting at the time, he was also cutting back everyone's spending, but then he was going out and spending so much money.
Classic.
Another interesting thing is that in a lot of Islamic religion, a lot of the scholars forbid any depiction of prophets.
Oh.
So for him to buy a picture of Jesus is very sacrilege.
Yes.
Super interesting because they don't like to see, they think if you see that a picture of the prophet or any of the prophets, you are essentially like gouge your eyes out. It's very not done.
Yeah, there was this big controversy where we're going to show like the Prophet Muhammad or like a version of him or something like that, and it caused this big big controversy.
Big no-no in that religion specifically.
Yeah.
This man's just come to power, and I don't know if you know much about Saudi Arabia, Joel, but do you know what they're known for? Just as a country, what they're making their money off. Think about
spice.
Spices, maybe back in the day.
I literally don't know.
They're known for oil. This is where we get oil sheiks. This is where we get all of that money. All of that oil money is there.
Yes.
What this man is starting to realize is eventually oil is going to dry up. They're going to need to make money a different way in order for the country to continue to be profitable. So he's starting to try and turn it into a bit of a cultural hub.
Okay.
So he's trying to buy these big pieces of art, put it in Saudi Arabia so tourism starts to lift because, of course, we're going to go travel to see the last Da Vinci.
Yeah.
Then we jump to 2019. So that's 2017. The painting kind of disappears. We jump to 2019.
Because it's gone to the Saudi prince.
Gone to the prince.
Yeah.
He's never confirmed it, but we know it's there. So we're at the Louvre now.
Oh, we love it there.
We're in France. We're about to open an exhibition because it's 500 years since Da Vinci's death. So it's going to be this big celebration of Da Vinci, and we're going to put all of these pieces on display. The question becomes, is the Salvator Mundi going to be in this exhibition?
Right.
And if it is, this could be one of the moments for the French to also authenticate it, because the Louvre has such a wide variety of Da Vinci's. They can go in and they can scientifically test this painting as well.
Should have done it in the first place.
Honestly,
could have
saved
stopped
us
all this
some-
rigmarole.
I know, the old rigmarole. This would give the painting like the final seal of approval, whether it is or it isn't. At this point, it's also more about the politics than it is the art, because France and Saudi Arabia are doing this kind of weird dance around, diplomacy. They're starting to do deals around guns and armory and things like that. So the French are trying to make friends, let's say. So the Louvre's director pretty much is pressured into accepting this piece and putting it into the exhibition and, well, at least running tests on it. They're like, you can't say no, you have to do something with this piece.
Yeah.
By 2018, so this is pre the show, in 2018, we know the Salvator Mundi arrives at the Louvre.
Okay.
Fast forward to 6 days before the exhibit's debut, the floor plans are given to the press and the Salvator Mundi is listed on these floor plans. When the exhibition opens to the press, they get an early preview so they can write about it. Reporters rush to see if it is in the room that is listed. But there are 3 empty hooks hanging on the wall.
Oh, 3.
3, I guess, because
okay, yep.
we could say 2, but it's 3. So the Mundi is nowhere to be seen. So look, there's a few rumors that circulate around this, and I'm going to say rumors, but a lot of these sources are like, this is confirmed, but it's rumors, it's allegedly.
I have a theory, but you go tell your
You know
rumors.
what? Tell me your theory.
Well, I think that if it was being authenticated at the Louvre, they might have started to really figure things out that it might not have actually been a Da Vinci, and it was starting to look like it probably wasn't. It might have been one of his students or something like that. And then to save any kind of embarrassment or all that kind of stuff, they were just like, let's not put it up for now, because you've sold it as a Da Vinci to like a Saudi prince, like to all this kind of stuff. So to maybe cover their tracks, they're just like, oh, we won't.
Yeah, we won't show it. That is one of the rumored reasons.
Yeah.
Another one is that this is kind of like a side story, but it makes sense in the grand scheme of things. So Diane finds the restorer. She goes and talks to one of her friends who's an art historian, and in their house is a book that was printed by the Louvre. And she says, where did you buy this? And the guy was like, I bought it at the exhibition that I went to about the Da Vinci 500 years. And there are scientific documents and research within this book that confirms the painting was a Da Vinci, which is interesting. However, so this is the first time an independent body has done analysis on this painting, and by all accounts, the Louvre is saying this is a Da Vinci. But there is no other copies of this book.
Oh.
So there is like maybe 1 or 2 out in the world.
Okay.
And this guy, this historian was just like, yeah, I bought it at the thing, but the Mundi wasn't there, but I just bought this book. So an investigative journalist actually did get confirmation that all copies of this book had been destroyed.
Okay.
So the Louvre also confirmed to this investigative journalist that they don't want information in this book published. They said the loan did not happen, so there will be no book.
Because
So it's kind of like
they still don't know.
Or
so they can't say a definitive yes in a published book. Because
or they've done
them
all
into
this
trouble.
research. They've proved it's a Da Vinci. He's pulled the Da Vinci. And so they're like, well, fuck you. We're not going to authenticate it for you. That's another option. There's so many options.
Yeah.
But this book exists. The Louvre has somewhat confirmed it exists, so it must be true.
Yeah. He managed to snag one before they got all.
Yeah, got rid of it. So she said, this woman on the phone to this investigative reporter was like, yep, the books have been destroyed. So there's no way to get your hands on one, but they do exist. They did exist at one point. So why was that? Another rumor is that the Mundi was supposed to be shown at the exhibition, but the owner of the painting had one condition, and the condition was that it must be held in the same room as the Mona Lisa.
Oh.
Do you know why this would be?
Because he thinks the painting that he spent all that money on is of the same caliber as the Mona Lisa.
Yeah, it would essentially be increasing the level and the value of the painting.
Yeah.
If you put it in the same room as the Mona Lisa and it's been called the male Mona Lisa, he's essentially saying, A, it's true and it's real, and B, it is just as priceless.
Where
as
would
that.
have you put it in the exhibition?
I think if I owned it, I'd want it with the Mona Lisa. But if I didn't, I'd put it at the end as like the big finish, right?
I would put it at the end.
Yeah.
Being like, but I also would state that like this could be.
Yeah.
What do you think?
What do you think?
Yeah.
But he wants it because he would only put it in the show if it was, I think, authenticated.
Yeah.
So it means at some point something's gone down, and one of the rumors is that he wanted it in this specific room. They said no, and he said, well,
you can't
have it.
Mm-hmm.
Interestingly enough, since the painting has been sold, it's never been shown to the public or seen the light of day. We actually don't know where it is. But
it's not back with the Saudi prince.
Well, we assume it's back with the Saudi prince,
Yeah.
but he's never shown it to anyone.
Okay.
So I guess
I reckon he's got it.
Yeah, 100%. It's probably on his super yacht.
Yeah.
Sailing around with his
Yeah.
painting, just going, oh, he probably doesn't smoke. Just being like, look at my beautiful piece of work. There is rumor and speculation that no doubt at some point this artwork will be put on display in Saudi Arabia to boost tourism, and they will make the biggest deal around it because he's creating this whole hub of art. This will be the finishing piece, and everyone will be like, holy shit.
I'd want to go see it.
I don't want to go to Saudi Arabia.
Neither do I.
Just for but I'll act straight for a bit.
Yeah.
But I would
see old Mundi.
Yeah, to see old since the painting has been given to the world, I guess, or been shone the light of day. Diane, the restorer, her reputation was pretty decimated after this.
Yeah.
So she has spent a lot of time putting together, and there is a website you can go and look at that the Mundi is real. She's putting all these documents together to say like, this wasn't fake, this is real.
Yeah.
Guys, you've got to listen to me. But everyone is a bit like umming and ahhing.
Yeah.
So I guess
that'd be frustrating, wouldn't it?
Yeah. She did make money off it though, getting it restored. So
Yeah.
she's made some pretty pennies anyway. And then the question still remains, is this one person's lie? Is this multiple people lying? Is this a collection of people wanting something so bad that they would do anything for it to be a Da Vinci? And who's involved? Is it the restorer, the dealer, the museum, the auction house? Or is it just a real Da Vinci and we're all just a bit like, umming and ahhing?
Who's to know?
Who's to know? And we might never know. Or
What do you think?
I think it was probably done around the same time as Da Vinci. I think it might have been one of his students.
It's a Da Vinci.
And you know what? If it ever, regardless, whenever it reappears in the world, boy, will there be some fanfare about it.
100%.
Because I will
and it
want
creates
to see
a conversation. It's like it sparks up like, isn't it? Like, it's so fascinating. And on top of all of that, it's a beautiful picture. Fascinating. And the mystery behind it all adds to that.
Do you think it's real?
Yeah. I want to believe it's real.
Yeah.
I think it's real. My second thing is probably a student that was emulating his style.
Do you think it's worth $450 million?
I don't think anything is worth $450 million.
Got it.
Give it to an entire country that needs it, maybe.
Yeah,
Feed them.
Yeah, there's literally hunger. We are going through a starvation, literally crisis. So give it to the people who need it.
Yeah,
not the Salvator Mundi.
Yeah, I'd smack a couple of mil on it, but if someone outbid me, I wouldn't be too mad.
Yeah,
I'd get a print. Get a print.
Put it in your house.
Print of it. Put it in your house. Put it in a pretty frame.
Yeah,
sorted.
Done. Well, that's weakest.
That was fascinating. I had no idea about any of this.
No, I wonder if we'll ever get to see it.
I hope so.
Or if it comes to light. There'll be no doubt news about it.
We'll
keep you in the loop.
And because it was so recent, like there's still, it's still being talked about. There's still people probably trying to get their hands on it. There's like all this, something's going to happen.
Something's going to happen.
Something's bubbling.
Ooh, well, we'll find out one day.
Yes.
Thank you for listening.
Thank you. That was fascinating. I loved it.
Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. If you want to watch, you can go and see this on YouTube.
Yeah, look at our faces.
We're beautiful. You want to see us. And as always, tell one friend.
One friend.
Just one.
Surely you've got one. I hope you've got one.
I
if
hope
not,
so.
you've got 2 friends right here.
Aww. And we'll see you next time.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.